Hello everyone. Today I'm going to do a quick video on a recipe that I've been doing for a very long time. It's a great comfort food, and now that the weather is starting to get really cold, today's the perfect time to cook it. So basically it's called cheesy chicken surprise. It's cheesy, it's delicious chicken, and it's baked. And the surprise is, I guess, that it just tastes awesome, even though it doesn't look the most appetizing. The flavors are amazing. It's very savory. The chicken it comes out extremely tender and delicious. So let's get started. What you need is about 2 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken breasts. I prefer that for this recipe. I guess you could use any kind of chicken you want, but I think boneless would definitely be the way to go. Some croutons. They can be seasoned, they can be plain, doesn't really matter. I prefer the seasoned ones, adds a little extra flavor. And some cheese. I like Colby Jack, Marble Jack, I've used provolone. American cheese works fine. Cheddar cheese, it can be shredded, it can be sliced, doesn't really matter. And then for the sauce, we're gonna need either 2 cans or one of these big family size cans of cream of chicken soup. Make sure you get cream of chicken and not, chicken broth. That won't work well. Some cooking sherry. We're gonna need a cup of that. And, a little bit of butter. And that's pretty much all you need for this. I like to serve it with rice, dab a little soy sauce on top of there, and it tastes awesome. You can pretty much serve this with anything, greens or whatever. So first things first, what we're going to want to do is grease I think this is a 13 by 9 baking dish. So I'm going to go ahead and do that here with some of this butter. Get it up on the sides too. You'll also want to preheat your oven to 400 degrees. Okay, so it's greased. Next step is all you got to do is just put the chicken into the pan. You can have it overlap, not a big deal. It's all going to get cooked through very nicely. There's not going to be a ton of caramelization on the chicken, but it all will cook up really nice and tender. So this is about 2 pounds. You can maybe even go with as little as 1.5 pounds of chicken. But I just like to lay it flat, and after that, what you want to do is put, tiny little half pats of butter on each piece of chicken, okay? So, like that. So yeah, just tiny little thin strips of butter. I usually like to do one little thin piece for each piece of chicken. And next, we're going to put the cheese on top of the butter and the chicken. You can put a lot or a little, doesn't really matter. I like to just basically cover all the chicken. So in this instance, it's going to be about 6 slices of, I have Kojak cheese here. So first thing we're going to want to do is take these croutons, okay? I like to open it up, get the air out, seal it up, and then take a rolling pin and just kind of bash them up a little bit. Just bash them. Don't turn them into a fine powder, but you want to leave just smaller chunks than what they currently are. Don't turn them into a fine powder. Bigger chunks are okay. So you just do that for, I don't know, a couple of seconds. And then what you're left with is, some smaller pieces. There's still some big ones in there, which is fine, but they're a little smaller. I like to take half of this amount, about half of it, cut it off in the bag and just dump it into the bowl that we're going to be mixing everything in, okay? You can add a little more, you can add a little less, doesn't really matter. I'm gonna add a little more since we have a little more chicken than normal. Okay? After that, let's take our cup of cooking sherry, fill that up, or measure it out. Okay, looks like we had exactly a cup. And then get our soup ready. Okay, so we got our cup of cooking sherry. We got our 2 cans basically of cream of chicken soup. Gonna add these to the croutons. Okay. Dump it on in there. I like to do croutons, soup, and then the sherry. Just dump it all in. Okay. Mix it up. That's it. Make sure you got a decent sized bowl so you're not spilling everywhere like I just did. Being a little aggressive with it, I guess. But basically stir it up until the cooking sherry kind of gets absorbed by the croutons and it starts to thicken up. It won't take you very long. Okay, once you're done stirring this up, all you gotta do is just throw it on top of the chicken. Cover all parts about as evenly as you can. You know, spread it around. Share the sauce. The sauce tastes so good after it's done cooking. It's unbelievable. Okay, there we have it before we bake it. Now, all we're gonna do is throw this into a 400-degree oven for about an hour, and you take it out, let it rest for 10 minutes or so, and serve it. That's it. Very simple, really good, amazing comfort food, awesome for a cold day. So, I'll show you what this looks like when we're done cooking it, but I'm just gonna go ahead and throw this in the oven. Okay, we're all done. It's been a little over an hour, maybe an hour and 5 minutes or so. Take it out. Let it rest for about 10 minutes. As you can see, there's some delicious bubbling goodness here. Some of the croutons have crisped up, but we're definitely gonna let this sit for a little bit. You can maybe even keep it in a little longer if you wanted, but I like it like this, it's just fine. So, just gonna let that sit for a little while, and I will plate it up and show you what it looks like in a sec. Okay, we waited about 10 minutes, so we're just gonna plate it up. Me personally, I like to have this with rice, so I just throw it on top of rice. Grab a chicken breast out of here, put it on top, and then pretty much douse the rice in the delicious sauce. It really goes well with the rice. And that's pretty much it. I'll show you real quick. I will cut this with a fork. Not even trying hard at all. Cut it with a fork. It's very nice and tender. And tastes fantastic. So try it yourself. Let me know what you think. If you got any questions, just leave a comment and I'll be glad to help you out. Thanks for watching.